Good morning. I'd like to pretend like it's the morning, but it's not. It's the afternoon. And I am getting ready to go to Starbucks and get some coffee. I got up today. I actually am not too sore from my, what is going on here? I have to like kind of have it, sorry. I have to kind of I have to have this thing over because look. Ah, the heavens opened up on Peter Monn. I thought I would wake up really sore today from working out so hard. Oh, it looks like pouring rain down over there. It's like gray. Here, I'll show you, see if you can see. Do you see all that over there in the distance? Look at that. Dark winter days in Indianapolis. But I wasn't sore at all. So, my legs are kind of sore. But, I mean, obviously, because I did 40 minutes on the elliptical. But not as sore as they usually are. And I got up, took the dogs out, gave Pee-Pee his medicine, and then I kind of just like sat around and didn't do a whole lot of anything, honestly, for a little while. Read a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make a hearty breakfast this morning and eat early because I weighed myself in for my weekly weigh-in. Hold on just a second.
Hey, welcome to Starbucks. My name's Brooke. What are you making for you today?
Can I get a venti iced coffee with 2 equal, please?
Of course, Peter. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
$3.43.
So I made a Morningstar breakfast burger, and then I think it was like 210 calories, and then I made 2 of the Morningstar sausage patties, which was like 180 calories, and then I had 1 cup of blueberries, which came to like, I think I looked it up on my Fitness Pal, like 85 calories, and then I had a Nature Bar these peanut butter bars, and I think those were 180. And I wasn't even hungry for those, but I ate them. I was like, I'm gonna eat early today and then have like an early dinner later. And then, because my personal trainer really wants me to track my food, like I talked about on here, or send him pictures, but I think we'll try the tracking of the food first. So I tracked all the food on my Fitness Pal, and then I'm like, what is going on over here? These people have costumes on. And then I made a cup of coffee. This Starbucks cinnamon dolce coffee that was delicious. I had bought like the Keurig cups for it, you know? And I must have used it before because they were already opened. I don't know, but I don't remember using them, but they were absolutely delicious. Hey Brooke, how are you? Good. Thanks, you too. So I made a cup of cinnamon dolce coffee, and I made it in my mom's favorite mug. I have 2 of them now because I had one at my office. The mugs of that have they're blue and they have a sailboat on them. And I took a picture of it and I put it on my Instagram, so if you want to see my breakfast, it's over my Instagram story. And then I saved it underneath food because I have those little highlight tabs because I'm so technological that I finally figured, I'm about to turn or I would like, but because I finally figured out how to do those little highlight tabs because I'm so technological. So yeah, that was my morning. Oh, I know what else. I did a cup of coffee face mask and washed my face. Then I did a cup of coffee face mask, and I just washed off. I literally have it like all over my neck and stuff. Do you see how red my neck gets when I do it? I have it all over my neck still. But I'm gonna go home. I'm going to the post office. I wanted to get coffee, and then I'm gonna go home and I gotta mail something out and take a shower, and then film some videos. And then I gotta get ready. Well, I'll get ready before I make my video, so all I have to do is change later. And then Tanya and I are gonna go to the meeting tonight. I think. I haven't talked to her today, so I'm assuming that we're going to the meeting. Yeah, and then that's it. Pretty exciting, isn't it? Oh, you're like, Peter, you didn't talk about your weigh-in. So, I had actually, so my weigh-in weight, I mean, I'm okay with it, but because anything that I stay steady or I lose even just a little bit, I'm fine with. But I had actually gotten down to this earlier in the week, which was why one night I was like, I'm gonna eat a little bit more and whatever, and I did. And And I think like I did that like 2 days in a row where I didn't eat a lot. I mean, I didn't eat things that were bad for me, but I ate more in quantity. And I noticed like the next 2 days I was like a pound up. And I know you guys are like, don't weigh yourself every day, but for me it's hard. I'm trying to get away from that. But so today I weighed myself for my weekly weigh-in. Dun 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 dun. Now last week so the first week I was 234.6. Last week I was 228 pounds. And today when I weighed myself, 225.6. So I lost 2.4 pounds in the last week. But I really think that had I not eaten more those 2 days, I think I would have lost more weight than that. I probably would have lost 4 or 5 pounds. But that's okay. You know, I'm learning as I go. I don't want to do some fad diet and some, you know, starvation diet and lose a lot of weight. I want to be able, like quickly, I want to be able to maintain this over a long period of time. So it's learning for me, you know, it's learning that, well, I probably shouldn't eat more than this, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think one night I had like 5 Morningstar sausages. Yes, they're healthier, but they're not that healthy, you know what I mean? So, it's just stuff like that. And I know that, and that's, you know, me addressing also my food addiction as well as getting healthy. I am glad I went and worked out last night. And I also don't know how much of it had to do from like lifting last night, but whatever. So I lost 2.4 pounds in the last week. My next weigh-in is next Tuesday, which I'm a little nervous about because I have Thanksgiving in between now and then. So I'm gonna try to rigidly really stick to eating healthy any other day other than that. And then obviously on Sunday, which is my cheat day, I'll probably just cheat at brunch like I did this week. I was really proud of myself that I just cheated at brunch and then I didn't eat anything else throughout the day, you know, because I think that whole mentality of cheat day. And I also, like on Thanksgiving, I was thinking about this like last night after I was like uploading my vlog. I'm just gonna have to be real careful with like portion control and things like that, you know? So, yep, that was my weigh-in. 2.4 pounds I lost this last week. And I'm excited about that, you know? That means I'm like 5.6 pounds away from 220. Slowly moving down. One of the things that's always really hard for me is that I'm like, when I say I'm gonna diet and I get healthy and I don't, is that like, let's say if I say it in like September, right? So September, October, I don't have my glasses, I can't do math. September, October, November, December, January, February, March. That's like 6-7 months, right? 7 months. Okay, so I'll start it like, let's say October and be fair, right? So I'll start it in October with the plan that like by March, when we go to Florida, I'll have gotten to a certain weight. And then Florida will happen. And let me know if any of you relate to this, okay? And then Florida will happen and I'll be the same weight, if not heavier, than I was before. And I'm like, had I just rigidly stuck to what I was doing and lost like 1 to 2 pounds a week, I would have been, I mean, what is that, 26 weeks? So, you know, like 52 pounds I would have lost by just losing 2 pounds a week and like working out and eating healthy and still cheating, you know? So over a period of 6 months, had I just stuck to what I did, I would have lost anywhere between, let's be fair, right? 35 to 50 pounds. Like, and so then I'm upset with myself because I'm like, I didn't stick to it at all. So this time, if I continue to stick to it and continue to stick to it and continue to stick to it, I know that, you know, my weight will go down. I know. So anyway, today is a good day. I did my prayers, I did my meditations, and yeah, I've had a really good day today so far. I'd like to tell you that I've been up since 10 o'clock, but that's not the truth, so. Oh. But I slept in, and I slept so well, and I had like 3 blankets on me. It was like fluff's enough. It was so comfortable. And like I said, now I'm gonna run to the post office and then I'm going to run home and take a shower and film some videos. I know what I'm making for my drama channel. I'll probably do a meditation for my Peterisms channel. I got to go through. I only read I read one meditation book this morning, and then part of that gratitude book by Melody Beatty. So I'll have to look at my other meditations. And then if I have time, I will do a review video today. It just depends on how late it gets with trying to, you know, have to go pick up Tanya Jean for the meeting and stuff. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna get off here. Do you guys like it when I film it throughout the day and kind of clip it all together? Do you enjoy that more? Or I did it a lot yesterday. So let me know if you like that more, and I'll try to do more of that, okay? I love you guys, and I'll see you back in a little bit. Hello? Okay, I just dropped off Tanya Jean, and now I'm on my way home. It's 31 degrees, and I have the heat pumping in the car. And it is late. It is 10:44. I need to plug in my phone. Tanya and I'm very proud of myself. Afterwards, she goes, come on, are you gonna take me out to dinner? Let's go to dinner. And I was like, Tanya, I said, I'm trying to eat healthy, and I don't wanna go out to dinner tonight. She's like, oh, come on. She's like, you'll go home and eat something. I said, no, like, I'm really trying to be good about this. So she said, okay. So I said, well, do you want me to take you to get a fountain pop? And she was like, no, I guess I just need to go home and eat something. So I said, okay. I said, I'm really sorry. I said, I just like, you know, I said I can go and I just sit there and not like eat anything because I don't want to eat anything right now this late. And she was like, no, I understand. And then we started driving and she's like, okay, take me to go get a fountain pop. So I took her to get a fountain pop, and then we ended up driving around for an hour talking, and I got a bottle of water. So I'm gonna have to get to the point where I can go out to eat and get things, but I just, you know, being that it was my weigh-in day, it would have been really easy for me to be like, okay, screw it, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. But I told her, I said, here's the problem, is I said that, turning up the heat. I said, the problem is that I already know that on Thursday, because of Thanksgiving, that I'm gonna, you know, it will be a cheat day. And then Sunday with brunch, and I said, I just don't want to go overboard 3 days this week. I said, or I won't achieve my goals, and I've got to stay on track with this stuff. She's like, no, I understand. So anyway, so we drove around, and yeah, went to my meeting. It was fine. It was nothing hugely profound. I did hear something I needed to hear tonight, though. It was like the discussion about the difference between like prayer and meditation. And like, it's not anything that I don't know, but like, I guess I needed to hear it, you know, that prayer is a lot of talking and meditation's a lot of listening. And you know, it's interesting because sitting in 12-step meetings, you know, because they put prayer and meditation together. And so the whole idea of meditation comes up a lot. And people always assume that it's like Buddhist Zen meditation, right? And they'll say things like, oh, well, I'm not really good at meditation, or I don't know how to do meditation, or whatever. Well, you know, when people started getting sober, you know, and way back when, the idea of meditation wasn't that. It wasn't this Buddhist, you know, kind of Zen meditation, or Buddhism, you know, like this kind of Eastern thought meditation. It really translated directly as deep thought. And so meditation is really just sitting and deeply thinking about whatever, you know, whatever answers in your life. So if you're going through something, you're like, I don't know what to do. Everybody's got Christmas decorations up now. All the restaurants do. We drove past Conner Prairie tonight, and our John Deere area. I don't know when they put it up, because I just drove by it like a week ago, and I was like, Tanya, I don't know that they're going to put our decorations up this year. She was like, who cares? I had the Christmas music playing when she got in the car. She's like, it is too early for that. So, but all the decorations are going up. Oh, and then tonight we drove by it, and I was like, Tanya, the John Deere decorations are up that we've driven by for 20 years. But anyway, I've driven by there before on my vlog, and you like drive through, and they have like all the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed. They have all kinds of decorations. I will drive you guys through there, I promise. So anyway, she, no, I forgot what I was saying. This is what happens when I get off on a tangent. I was talking about losing weight. I was talking about, oh, prayer and meditation. But, you know, so, like, I think for me, like, I pray a lot on things, like, to my higher power. But I also think that it's really important for me just to listen to, like, well, maybe what is the answer? You know, like, what am I supposed to be doing in this situation? And I think that's a lot of meditating, too, and just being silent with myself. And, which... I don't know why I'm like having, like my throat is clogged tonight. Which I know because I talk so much and all this kind of stuff, people are like, oh, that's probably, you know, hard for you to stay silent. But it really isn't, and I really enjoy being silent. Like, whether it's just driving around in my car in silence or, you know, at home, like, I used to always have, like, the TV on in the background if I was at home, but I've been trying to not do that, like, recently, and just have silence in the background, and, it's been nice, you know, to be just kind of with my thoughts or talking to the dogs or whatever. So yeah, yep, so that's that. I'm trying to think about what I vlogged earlier. I don't even remember if I vlogged about talking about what I did today or whatever. Just not a whole lot of anything, but I did I vlog on the way to the meeting? I don't think I did. I did post videos on all my channels except for my Peter Likes Books channel today. I was like, am I going to do my booktube channel or am I going to do my review channel? Because I don't have time to do both. And I was like, I'm going to do my booktube channel. So I did my booktube channel, or I did my review channel, because I usually opt out and do my booktube channel, and you know, if I have extra time instead of my review channel. But today, if I got started earlier, I could get them all done, you know. And I was going to try to get my vlog done early, like right now, but I think I'm going to go home and do a live stream. Alex went down with Jason, Melissa's husband, to go hear Louis the Child tonight. So they went down and did that together, and I have no idea what time he'll be home from that. But probably, I mean, I wouldn't think super late. So I will have enough time to do a live stream. I haven't done a live stream in probably a week, so I need to get on there and do a live stream and talk about stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then tomorrow, get up and, you know, do some videos and stuff and get ready for Thanksgiving. Oh God, my eye is like driving me crazy. I don't know if this happened to me the other night too. I don't know, maybe it's my contacts are old and I need to change it. And my friend Valerie's been out of town, but she's supposed to come back in town tonight. But she said she'll be back in town tomorrow, so maybe Valerie and I will meet up at the casino. We'll see. Thursday's Thanksgiving. I don't have to be up super early because I don't have to be at Caroline's until 3. So tomorrow night would be a good night to go to the casino if I was going to go. I don't know. I haven't talked to Valerie about it or not yet. So anyway, and then what was I going to say? I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. I have a video that I want to make that I want to post on Thursday, so I'm going to try to film some videos tomorrow for Thursday so that I post. Can you believe it? Like, here I am taking a day off here and there, and now I got to get my videos done early to post on Thursday. But I have some videos that I want to post on Thursday. I have a rant video that I want to do and post on there, so I'm going to do that. And oh, I think I'm going to go work out tonight. Like, I am like into the working out thing. Like, tonight, like after I like made it through the we're not going to go out to dinner, I was like, I'm going to work out. Like, I am going to go work out. So we'll see. If I get home and I get relaxed and it's warm and I just want to read or something, I may not, but I was telling Tanya tonight about that that documentary I watched, God Knows Where I Am. For some reason, it's really weird, like, when I read a book or when I watch a certain movie, and, like, maybe, like, I said on here how great I thought it was, but, like, maybe I don't realize, my hair always gets so flat. Can I just tell you that back in the day, I would, like, get out of the shower and my hair would just, like, stand straight up. Look at that, okay? But now, it starts off so cute earlier in the day, and then by like now, it kind of like just falls flat. Anyway, I mean, I guess that's okay, but I had a faux hawk forever when I was younger, and I had to do nothing to it. Like, I didn't have to put like blow dry it or anything. My hair would just stand straight up. And this is till I was about like in my late 20s, and I would just put stuff in it. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, but like when I watch a movie or a book and like it kind of like at the time that I watched it or read it, like I'll be like, that was really good or it impacted me. But when it lingers with me for like a couple days after, my husband is texting me. When it lingers for a couple days after, is when like I know that it had like a really big impact on me. You know what I mean? And I'm like I'm gonna pull in here to the mall because if he's on his way home, I'm gonna keep on vlogging. I'm not gonna hurry and rush home because then I can't do a live stream. I might as well just vlog now. And that documentary has like really stuck with me. Like really, really stuck with me. Oh, he's texting me like crazy. I wonder what he's texting me. Do you hear that? The stupid Starbucks cups in the background rolling around. I need to take them out of my car. Also because I haven't been using them for my Starbucks when I go through it. He FaceTimed me, but so that must mean he's still there because he was like, "What you doing, babe?" And I was like, vlogging. I'm like, how long are you gonna be? Because I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go home and live stream or not. I'll text Valerie too. Have you guys made your, okay, he said concert just ended. What did he say? Concert just ended. Like they just now stopped playing the last song before they came back on, so I don't know, an hour. So I am not going to, do you ever like you ever like text like two people at the same time, then you text the wrong person? Like if I'm texting Valerie and then I'd be like, "Love you, babe." When I meant that for Alex, I didn't do that. But have you ever done that? I had a friend of mine back in the day, and this really hurt me. I don't know why, but it really hurt my feelings at the time. She and I hadn't talked in a while, and so I went over to her apartment, and I'm trying to say this as, how do I say this in a way that like, I didn't like how her girlfriend treated her. I just, you know, I didn't like how her girlfriend treated her, and she knew that, and I was nice to her girlfriend, and her girlfriend was nice to me, but there was no love lost between the two of us, you know what I mean? Okay, Valerie said she might want to go tomorrow night. God, all these people are texting me at the same time. So she had like called me and she had said, you know, like, why don't you come over and we'll talk? And I was like, okay. And I missed her, you know, we had been friends for a long time. And so I went over there, and like we had back in the day, like we would watch Christmas movies together, we would make cookies, and I loved this, you know, this woman. And we were really good friends, and you know, just because you don't like somebody who they're dating, it's like you didn't choose that person, right? But I've never been the person that will not be friends with somebody because of who they choose to be with, if that makes sense. And her girlfriend hadn't done anything that was like, I mean, she wasn't abusive or anything. It wasn't anything like that. Where, you know, it just wasn't anything like that. I just didn't like how she talked to her, and I don't know, I was real protective of my friend. So I went over there, and because what had happened was her girlfriend would be like, you know, whenever we were going to go do something, I was kind of the one that was always excluded because of that situation. So I went over there, and I was talking to her, and we talked it all out. And I said, listen, I just want you to be happy. What's interesting is that they haven't been together for a very long time, and I'm not friends with either one of them now. Isn't that interesting how that all works out? But anyway, I said, I just want you to be happy. If you're happy with her, that's fine. Like, I'm not the one that dictates or determines your happiness. You know, I just want you to be happy. If you're happy in this situation, that's fine. Like, I can respect your relationship. I can respect your choice to be with her. And she was like, well, I really appreciate that, and I love her, and I want you to know that, and even though you don't always see it, she treats me right. And I'm like, uh-huh. Like, we've all been there, right? Like, we have that friend, and you're like, okay, she treats you right, but I don't ever see it. Like, you know, never once do I see it that she treats you right. She's always ordering around and whatever. It didn't matter. So while I was sitting there talking to her, like, I was there, and I had gone over there, and it was at Christmas time. I had gone over there with the idea that we were going to watch a Christmas movie and, like, make Christmas cookies and stuff, because that's what we had always done together. And so I thought that's what it was going to be, right? So, throughout the time that we were talking, her girlfriend kept on, like, texting her. And I said, like, if you need to call her, call her. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm here. And she's like, no. She was like, no. She was like, you know, I don't need to call her. She knows that you and I are kind of hanging out and whatever. And I said, okay. Well, we got done talking, and everything was kind of worked out. And she's like, I'm really glad that we worked out, got things, you know, talked out. And she stood up, and I was like, were we gonna watch a movie or something? She's like, I'm really tired. She's like, I need to go to bed. She was like, you know, that's what she had said. Like, she told her girlfriend, she's like, no, I told her that you and I are talking, and then I'm gonna go to bed, that, like, you know, I'll just talk to her tomorrow. Don't worry about it. You know, she understands, whatever. And I was like, okay. So I stood up, she stood up, and I was like, are we not gonna watch a movie or anything? She's like, oh, I'm really tired. Now I'm yawning myself. She's like, no, I'm really tired. I need to go to bed. You know, like, I told her that I was going to go to bed too, so I'll just, you know, whatever. We'll do it another time. And I said, okay. And I started walking, and she kind of, like, stood, like, and I said, can I use your bathroom really quick? And she was like, yeah, but you need to hurry, because I'm, like, I'm ready to go to bed and whatever. And I would take the dog out and stuff. And I said, I just want to use the bathroom. I'll be out of here real quick, right? And I was like, what is going on? So anyway, I went into the bathroom really quick, and she even said, like, okay, yeah, but just hurry, you know? So I went in the bathroom, I mean, literally really quick, and I came out, and she said, okay, bye, and she gave me a real quick hug. I was not out her door, literally. She lived on the second floor of an apartment building. I was not out of her door 2 seconds when that door about literally hit me in the ass, and I had 1 foot on the step going down, and she texted me, and she said, like, hey, babe, she was like, he's gone now, so it's safe for you to call. I was done. I was so done. I got to my car, and I sat there, and Tanya knew this whole situation, too, and I texted her, and I said, hey, babe, wrong person, and I got on the phone, and I called Tanya, and I was bawling. I was like, I am so done. Like, I cannot believe, like, I went over, you know, like, just be honest with me. Just be like, hey, listen, I'm glad that we worked things out. I told her I would call, you know, whatever. Like, I was so hurt by that whole situation. It was really hurtful. And that wasn't even what ended our friendship. I got both of them, because then I did become friends with this person because I wanted to make it work with all of us. Well, then what happened was, and Tanya told me, she said, you need to be careful. They're using you. And like, Tanya knew him too. Like, one of them would ask me something, and I'd say, well, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. And then the other one would ask me when I was alone with them. And then they get together, and they'd say, well, Peter said this. Well, Peter said that. And then I lost both of them as friends. Don't get involved in your friends' relationships. Just don't. And if you don't like that person, don't even say anything. Just be like, yeah, yeah, they're great, you know? Just don't, it's not even worth it. It's totally not worth it. That shit you learn as you get older, but like I was a lot younger when this happened. I was like in my 20s. But like that's something you learn as you get older, you know? But like, how old was I? Maybe I wasn't in my 20s when that happened. Time just kind of floats together at some point. No, because it doesn't matter. But anyway, you know, you learn that stuff as you get older. Now, I just don't fuck with other people's relationships. I'm like, I contacted like the winner of my James Charles Morphe giveaway, and here I'll give her a little shout out because I know her Instagram by heart now because I've looked it up so many times. I thought I did. Now I have to look it up on my stupid Instagram because I put it on my story. Okay, hold on a second. But I sent her a, why can't I find it? I'm losing my mind, you guys. I just looked it up and now I can't find it. Here was my lunch, my breakfast today. Do you see? Don't you hate when it does that? Anyway, I had this morning the best breakfast. Why does it keep on doing that with my charger? Okay. Let me see if I can look her up. Oh my god, you guys, I'm like losing my mind. Do you ever do this? Like, I keep on forgetting what her name is. I think it's Sarah Paulson. Sarah Paulson, like the actress. So congratulations, Sarah Paulson. You won the Morphe palette. Okay. Let me look her up. Here she is. Oh, she hasn't posted in 3 days. I love to randomly look through people's Instagrams. And I'm going to be doing a bunch of other holiday giveaways as well, because I'm loving doing them. Da 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 da. Friendships are hard, aren't they? Sometimes, like, you know, like when you get older and it's like, I don't know. Friendships change. I remember when I was, you know, working in treatment back in the day. You know, and I worked there for 13 years, and so when I started, and within, like, I would say 3 years, the majority of the team that I worked with, like, we all started kind of together. Well, we all started young, you know, and so we grew together, and the majority of the girls that I worked with that were, oh, it's gonna stop, hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. But the majority of the girls that I worked with at the beginning, that, you know, women, were like straight out of college when we all started working together. Well, what happened over time, you know, was that we would go out to get something to eat afterwards, or we would go, like, you know, to my apartment and go night swimming or something after we got off, you know, working a shift late, because we all started as techs there and stuff. And then what would happen over time is, you know, they'd get married or they would have kids, and, you know, I think that is one thing that's different today, because of like, so many gay couples getting married younger and deciding to have kids and settle down. But when it was like back then, for me, it was like, I had all these like girlfriends of mine, and we like go out to the bars and, do all this kind of stuff. But like, that's not really what they wanted, long term. Like, they wanted to settle down. They wanted to have long-term boyfriends or husbands, and they weren't going to meet a lot of them up in gay bars. Let's just be for real, I mean, unless, there was a straight guy out with, their gay friend or something, they just weren't going to meet him. And, and I always felt bad for him. But what happened over time was that a lot of these friendships started changing, because I think the reality is, we have friends that have similar interests, which is why today, I have so many friends of mine that are in recovery because we have like interests, I also think that's why, like, I mean, and then there's Tanya, who I've known, whether we were sober together or not, like I've known her for 22 years, and Alex and Sarah, I mean, like they've known each other since they were juniors in high school. So, I mean, like they've had, long-term friendship as well. I think if you have a long-term friendship, it's a different kind of thing. But I think like, and then Melissa and Jason, I think they're such good friends of ours because we're both couples. And I think so it works together as, couples being friends. And God, people are just like texting me nonstop. And so I think, I think friendships, the way they are, change as you get older a little bit. Maybe it's not even just an age thing. I don't know. But like, when your interests change and what you want out of life changes. I've always said that I think that one thing for couples, like one of the things that's like helped Alex and I, and this wasn't always the case when we got together, but it's changed. Our wants and our desires have changed over the years of that. We've kind of molded into wanting the same thing. But that wasn't always the case when we first got together. There were things that I wanted that he didn't. There were things that he wanted that I didn't. But, I think when your long-term goals are similar, relationships have a better chance of survival, because the problem is like, if you get in a relationship and that person wants kids, like they definitely want kids and the other person doesn't, like those are some things that probably won't change. Or if somebody wants, a house in the country and the other person's like, because back in the day, like I never wanted to move ever from Indianapolis, and I wanted to have like a farm out in the middle of nowhere. Now that stuff's not, today I do want to move. And Alex is the one that, he wants to move, but he wants to do it a certain way. And, and I sure as shit don't want a farm to take care of. I mean, I realize today that that's a lot of work. And I don't know that I really, in my, like, do I feel like part of my soul lives on a farm out in the middle of nowhere? Sure. In reality, do I want to take care of a working farm and have the lawn mown and all that? No, I don't know that I want all that. And the roof to go out in the middle of winter, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. There are things that I would be happier with, And so I think, like, when your long-term goals kind of start merging together, I don't know, like I think that's a big part of it. And when Alex and I, like, our long-term goals started becoming very similar, and we could start understanding each other a little bit more, then I think, like, I don't know, it's just like, I think that's really important. And I think it's also important with friendships too. Like, have you ever like gone out to dinner with a friend and let's say you haven't seen them in a while, right? And you're sitting down there and you're talking to them and it's like, okay, well, you have kids and you're married and like your day looks like going to work and then, coming home and feeding the kids and eating dinner with your husband and then maybe watching a movie on Netflix. And their life is like, oh, well, I just went to New York for a conference and I just took a new promotion and I'm probably going to move to San Francisco. And you're like, we have nothing in common anymore, right? It's hard. That doesn't mean you don't love that person. It just means that you don't really have a whole lot in common with that person anymore, and it's hard. Valerie's asking me how much my training is. Do you know what I mean? And like, I have lots of friends that I get together with and I'm like, I really miss this person or I love this person, especially friends of mine that I haven't seen in a long time. But at the same time, I'm like, like I leave, and it almost makes me more sad after I've left, because I'll leave and I'll be like, okay, realistically, like, how does this friendship work anymore? Like, how do we really have anything in common? I don't know if that makes any sense, what I'm saying at all, but like, it's sad, you know? And especially like in sobriety, because, you know, when somebody gets sober and then you see them come in and their life is about like meetings, and you know them from meetings and you talk to them, and like really like your first year is about working in meetings or hanging out with family in meetings, and just meetings, and, you know, working with your sponsor, doing this or doing that. Well, then over time what happens is, you know, you get sober and you stay sober for a while and you get your real life back, see? And I'm like, I don't want to move, because if I move, then they're going to text me. And I'm like, it's Alex and Valerie going back and forth. Hi, Valerie. I can't drive right now because you're texting me. But I love you. But you know what I mean? Like, so what happens over time is, you know, you get your real life back in sobriety. And what I mean by that is, you didn't get sober to sit in a 12-step meeting for the rest of your life, okay? Yes, we need to continue to go to meetings because that's our medicine, okay? But, and the people that I know, this is just my experience, okay? I know that there are a lot of other ways to get sober, by going to church and, you know, finding religion, or all different kinds of ways. But for me, this is what works. And what I've learned is those that stay with one foot, at least in the rooms of recovery, even at 40 years, are the ones that have what I want. And so for me, I have to continue to do that. But what happens is, we didn't get sober to be in a meeting twice a day, you know, for the rest of our lives. We just didn't, you know. And like, my old sponsor used to say to me, like, when I was coming back to meetings a lot, that transition from going to 2 meetings a day, when I finally, like, at a year, stepped down and wasn't going to 2 meetings a day, and I didn't go from 2 meetings a day to 1 meeting a week. You know, at first I was going to like 5, 6 meetings a week, and then it, you know, and so, but I can remember, like, I would call him and I would say, you know, like, Alex really wants to go on a date tonight, but, you know, I go to this meeting every Friday night, and it's a commitment I have. And my sponsor would say to me, you know, like, you didn't get sober to just sit in a meeting every Friday night. Like, you got sober to be a better husband, to be a better, you know, I wasn't a husband at that time, but, you know, theoretically, to be a better husband, to be a better son, to be a better friend, to be a better person, right? So you got sober to be able to go on dates with your husband, to be even able to have that relationship. So what happens is, we get sober, and then, you know, we get jobs, because we're sober people now and we're employable. And then we get in relationships because people want to be in relationships with us, or we make friends, you know, and not always those friends are in sobriety. And so it's like real life starts coming in, and it's a very scary place, which I think is like why 2 to 3 years of sobriety, sometimes it's really hard, because it's really like when your real life kind of like connects with your sobriety life, and it's like trying to figure all that out and balance it out, and it's not easy. It's not, I mean, it's just really not easy at all. And that's where I see a lot of people just step away from recovery completely, because it's like, okay, well, this chapstick just completely broke. Oh, I pushed it back in there. God, Peter, you're so technological. I did all this wash tonight, and I put on a pair of Joe's jeans that I had just washed and cuffed, and they are loose on me. Like, these jeans that were never loose back. I was so excited when I put them on. I was like, oh my God. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, but like, you know, I don't even know what I was saying now. Peter, I just think that transition is hard, you know? My sponsor does such a great job of it. I mean, she has so many, you know, what's the word, irons in the fire? I mean, she's got so many things that she's doing at any given time, whether it's family stuff or sobriety stuff or work stuff, and then she's always got stuff on the side, like she's fixing her house up and whatever, you know? And it's like, that's admirable. You know, we were talking in the meeting tonight about anything that I put before my sobriety. If I put anything before my sobriety, I'll lose my sobriety. which is a hard concept, you know, to wrap your head around, because there are times that it seems like they're not going to text me back. As soon as I start driving this car, y'all know what's going to happen, okay? You know they're going to start texting me. But, you know, it's kind of a hard thing to wrap your head around, because it's like, there are times that things do seem more important than your sobriety, like your marriage or your family or whatever. And the reality is, you know, that like, if Tanya and I were talking about this tonight, okay? So we were talking about this after this stupid cup is driving me nuts back here. Can I reach it? I can't reach it. So Tanya and I were, do you hear that? It's driving me crazy. So Tanya and I were talking about this on, you know, the way home tonight when we were driving around, that like, I today have peace and serenity in my life. To be honest with you, like, okay, we were talking about two different situations, she and I. She was talking about something in her life, and I was talking about a lot of the stuff that's happened with me and YouTube, right? And I said, you know, Tanya, a lot of people want to know why I don't fight it. And I said, you know, the reality is this, is that I said, you know, part of like the promises of recovery are that we will cease fighting anything and anyone and anything. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight anymore. My peace and my serenity is more important to me. My peace, even at the expense of being right or being wrong. Okay, that's where it comes into play. Is it more important to be happy, or is it more important to be right? It is more important for me to be happy today. It is more important for me to have peace of mind, learn the lessons I'm supposed to learn, move on, grow as a human being. You know, I don't want to fight I just don't. With anybody or anything, I don't want to fight, you know? And it's not like I'm just like throwing up my hands in the air. Like if I needed to, I would, you know? If I needed to, I would. But at the same time, it's like, it's just not worth it to me. It's just the emotional hangover that just, you know, and it's like one of the greatest things that has come as a result of all of this is how valuable and how protective I am over the serenity that I have in my life. And you know, I mean, it's been, I can tell you, there are many times that I want to, you know, say my 2 cents or, you know, whatever. And it's just like, you know what, like, Peter, you have to ask yourself what's more important to you. It's just, and it's more important for me to be happy. It's more important for me to be peaceful. And, you know, in any situation that you're in, and in any situation that I'm in my life, and, you know, there's that, but there's so many other situations in my life where I'm just like, you know what, like, the fight's not worth it to me. It just isn't, you know? If you're in a situation in your life where, you know, you feel this, like, emotional tug of war, you gotta ask yourself, like, is this emotional tug of war worth it to me? No, I'm not, you know what? I'm not in that. I don't want to, you know, it's just not worth it to me. My peace and my serenity is more important to me, you know? And Tanya and I were talking about, you know, also, like, the physical peace and serenity, because I've had 2 friends of mine, 2 of my closest friends that I've known since I was 18 years old, in the last 2 years have strokes. Okay, they're my age. 2 gay guys that I've been diehard friends with for 20-some years have had strokes, and they're healthy. One of my friends is super healthy, and I'm like, you know, not that strokes are directly always related to stress, but they can be. And I'm like, okay, I am not the healthiest person in the entire world. Like, I'm not willing to just hand over my health to stress-related shit. It's just not worth it to me. It just isn't, you know? And, I mean, one of the things that I love is that people are like, when they watch my review videos, because they'll say, you seem so happy. I'm so happy making those videos. I love making those videos. They are so fun, you know? And while I love doing the drama and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, everything, you guys know I love this channel, it's like a completely different thing. It's just like, it's corny, it's cheesy, it's fun. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so fun to come up with ideas, and you guys seem to be responding so well to it. And, very rarely do I ever get a comment on there that somebody's like, you know, today I did the holiday Oreos, you know, like, you're completely wrong, and the fudge covered Oreos are not the best Oreo in the world, and you're disgusting because you think that. I mean, that just doesn't very often come along with the review channel. It just doesn't, let's be for real, right? So it's kind of like this lighthearted, you know, whatever. And I love that. It's fun, you know? And I feel like right now in my life, my soul connects with that. But I also love doing the drama, but I'm also starting, you know, to realize that, well, there are different ways to do it. It's all about change. And I think a lot of change is fear, you know? Life changes constantly, all the time, you know? I think that if you've ever seen the movie, The Last Picture Show, and then they did a follow-up to it, the sequel that was like made like 20 or 30 years later, that was called, the original was with Sybil Shepherd and Jeff Bridges, and the follow-up is called Texasville, and it's one of my favorite movies of life. And and Annie Potts is in it, and she plays Jeff Daniels. I think it's Jeff Bridges. She plays Jeff Bridges' wife in it, and there's a part when she's laying on the bed, and she has like her leg up, and it's like she's fanning herself, and he comes in the room, and he looks at her, and he says, something about you's changed, something's different. And she says, something like, that's the thing about men, like, you know, women go through 50 changes a day, and you don't even recognize it. Like, we go through so many changes just in a day. I don't know the exact line, but I really believe that, you know, I believe not just as men or women, but just as humans, I think we go through changes constantly of, you know, how we look at something, and one little thing that somebody says to us can change our perspective on something, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, we never know really when it's going to hit us, or when it's going to happen, or, you know, when we're going to feel a certain way, or when our response to something is going to be different than it was before. And maybe sometimes, you know, it's like a pot slowly boiling, and it takes time to heat up and get to the point where we realized, you know, that like peace is more important than being right, or something like that, you know? That doesn't mean that you're not gonna like fall back into that at times, but I think that we learn lessons over time. I don't know. Me driving around with Tanya for an hour and then after a meeting, I think me getting on this vlog is probably, I don't know, I get on here and then I want to have these like real philosophical conversations with myself, basically. A friend of mine was talking to me tonight afterwards about like having these different job opportunities and not knowing which one he should take and which one. And he's earlier in sobriety, he's a couple years sober, I think 4 or 5. And I started laughing, and he's like, what are you laughing at? And I said, you know, only in sobriety can we turn a good thing into something fucked up. Seriously. I said, you know, like, I can remember when I first got sober, and like, you know, like I said, if you watch my Peterson's video about this the other day, this is a really hard time of year for me. But like, when I first got sober, like, I couldn't even hold 2 days together. You know, like, me being sober for 2 days in a row, like, out of treatment, was really hard. Like, I was terrified all the time of using. Like, I really didn't know how I was gonna do it. Like, I had no clue. Every day that I woke up, I was like, I don't know, like, if today I'm gonna use or whatever. Like, that went through my head. A flash forward 2 years later, you know, I'm going on a tropical vacation with my dad and my stepmom and my boyfriend, and I'm bringing up in meetings, how am I going to sit on a beach and not have a beer? Because I love to sit on a beach and have a beer. You know, it's like, okay, well, 2 years before, my problems were, I couldn't even hold 2 days together sober. You know what I mean? And now, what did I tell you? My husband just texted me. And now, you know, here I am, but for the grace of God, getting to go to an island and sit on a beach and have a Diet Coke, which is just as fantastic as a beer. And if you don't know that, it's the truth. Now, one of my favorite things ever, like when we go to Miami, I love to go to the beach all day long and I drink water, but then come back to the hotel and go for like a swim at the end of the day and get like a Diet Coke, like in a glass with ice in it. Like, that is one of my favorite things. And Alex knows that we always have to do that like every year when I mean, that's like my little tradition at the end of the day when we're laying out. I think the other thing that I've learned, is that long-term anger and resentment and frustration and grudges and all of that are not healthy for me. I'm at that speedway that I always stop at. I may go in here and use the restroom, so I'm like having to go to the restroom. But that isn't healthy for me. You know what I mean? Because long term, he said, in the car, heading home in the garage. But long term, that anger and that frustration is not healthy for me. It's just not good, mentally, emotionally, or anything else. It's not. And it affects my creativity. It affects my relationships with other people in my life. It affects my attitude, my outlook on life. It affects my sleep. It affects my eating. It affects my emotional response to things. And I do much better when I'm not holding on to anger, animosity, resentment, frustration in my life. I just don't do well with it. I don't know about the rest of you, but I just don't do well with it at all. I'm going to go over here and park and go inside and go to the bathroom. Like, it's just not healthy for me. And I got to remember that, I got to remember, what do I want? How do I really want to feel? Like, when I look at the world, like, it all comes back to that being right or being happy, which sounds like such a simple concept. And I know that there are a lot of people that are like, well, sometimes it's more important to be right. I don't know. I honestly, I can't say at 46 years old, sometimes, I have to kind of also see, I don't know. In my youth, with people in my life, I would really right fight at the expense of losing relationships or losing friendships. And, I would really, because I knew I was right, see? And not just in my youth, but as I've gotten older too, there's been times that I've done that. And I've okay, it stopped. I've learned, I think, that whether I end up successful in that or not, I don't feel very well at the end of it. Right or not, justified or not, justifiable anger, okay. Justifiable anger, which means that everything that I'm angry about, everything that I'm resentful about, I have a right to feel that way because of something that somebody did or a situation that turned out a certain way for me. But that doesn't mean that the long-term emotion or feeling that I have attached to it's going to change. It doesn't mean that, okay, if I'm justified in feeling the way that I am, sure, that's great, right? Okay, so life screwed you over, and this is how this is the situation you've been dealt with, okay? So, life handed you a shit sandwich. But me holding on to that anger does nothing for me whatsoever. It does not help me long term. That doesn't mean that I don't process the feeling. That doesn't mean that I don't process the emotion. That doesn't mean that I don't call my sponsor or talk to my counselor about it or talk to Alex about it or talk to Tanya about it and process it. That doesn't mean that I don't hold on to it for a little bit. But long term, over time, that anger, like I'm so angry. Like even like, have you ever felt so angry that you're so tense all the time? I don't want that all the time in my life. Like it's not good for me. And I think, you know, over time, when you are open to change, what you realize is there are methods to letting go of that. I don't know. I mean, I'm still learning. It's not like I got all this figured out. I just know that I don't want to be, you know, held hostage to anger. It's just, I don't, you know? And honestly, I mean, being sober, I don't have the luxury to hold on to anger and resentment for long periods of time because she honked her horn enough over there, or she locked her door enough over there. I mean, I don't have the luxury to hold on to all of that because if I do, it just festers inside of me, you know? And then I'm negative about everything. Not just whatever the situation is in life that handed me a shit sandwich, but like everything. I'm negative about everything then, you know? Because what happens is it has festered and I've now developed this negative attitude towards life, this toxic attitude towards life based on something that happened, you know, whether it was like a breakup or, you know, a divorce or, you know, friendships or whatever, you know, or just even like a bill or something, you know, that you didn't expect or whatever it is, you know, that, and sometimes those things add up and it's like, God, I can't catch a break. And that's true, you know, and that's why it's important for us to have support systems where we talk to people and we talk through things and whatever, you know. Like one of the things I hate hearing from people, but is always healthy for me is like when I'm talking to somebody about like issues that are going on in my life and then they'll look at me and they'll go, we all have the same issues, Peter. Like you're not unique. And then I'm like, oh, but see, cause like, even though I know that, like in my head, I kind of think I am, you know what I mean? Like I kind of think like, oh, so, you know, I was late today and these 2 bills came that I couldn't afford, you know, to pay. I'm just randomly coming up with stuff, you know, but like, and then I was supposed to do something with this person, but they, you know, canceled on me at the last minute and we didn't end up going to have coffee and, you know, I really wanted to see them and, you know, then I was supposed to go to a meeting with Tanya, but like she didn't want to go and, you know, then Alex is, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, then this stuff builds up. But see, I feel justified in that, right? Because the world handed me this shit sandwich for a day. And then I say that to somebody like my sponsor and she's like, yeah, well, we all have stuff and you're not unique and do you know what I mean? And that's really good for me to hear, to realize, hey, I'm just human like everybody else and we're all just trying to get by and it's just, it just is not that fucking deep, you know? And let's get past it. Because there are going to be the days that you're holding your mom's hand and she's passing away. Like that's the reality. And guess what? The battery's about to die. I cannot believe it. I don't even know how long I've been vlogging. So 24 and 24 is 48. Oh, I've only been vlogging for like an hour and like 5 minutes or something. Well, the battery flashing means that my time is done. Well, I guess what I'll do is I will go home and charge my battery for a little bit. And then I'll get ready to go to the gym and I'll talk with Alex. And then I will vlog on my way to the gym because I am going to go to the gym tonight. So anyway, oh God, it's 11:30. Maybe I won't go to the gym. But if I charge the battery, I will be back and I will do a little bit more vlogging. If I don't, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Thanksgiving Eve. Don't hold on to anger, or it's not worth it. You know, choose to be happy instead of being right. You know, it's just, I know that's kind of like this cliched statement and I know it's hard to get behind that, but peace of mind, happiness, positivity is, you know, it just is a better feeling long term than anger. It really is. And I'm still learning. I'm still trying to practice that and, you know, remind myself of that. There are times that I fall down, you know, that anger trail as well, and I just don't want to be there. So practice positivity and hopefulness and happiness. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.